Nutrition, and I am with eating disorder expert and registered dietitian Jessica Setnick, and we're talking about eating disorders. And specifically, I asked her, what does an eating disorder look like? Because I think some people have some misperception of what they look like. So tell us.
Well, I think it's unfortunate, but there is an idea in our sort of collective consciousness that someone with an eating disorder would be emaciated or very thin, and that would be someone with anorexia. But really, eating disorders are weight blind. Anyone of any size can have an eating disorder, and there can be people who are thin or even underweight that don't have an eating disorder at all. So sometimes I think it's a case of mistaken identity, and I think it's a real problem because unfortunately even doctors, I think, have the same bias because they're part of our culture. There was one study that showed that individuals with binge eating disorder who were overweight went to get help for their eating disorder, and almost all of them were recommended methods to lose weight, but none of them were offered actual treatment for their eating disorder. So I think, as we talked about before, with binge eating disorder coming into the collective consciousness and the diagnostic criteria, I'm hoping that what will improve is that our medical community and our personal community will start to be more aware that an individual can be at risk or can have an eating disorder regardless of their body size.
Right, yeah.
There's another aspect, which is that unfortunately also eating disorders have sort of been misguidedly attributed to a certain type of sort of socioeconomic status and primarily female in gender, and I really don't think that's the case either. Anyone can get an eating disorder. We all have very similar genes, and we all live in sort of a dysfunctional culture when it comes to food and eating and body weight and size, and the studies on eating disorders are mostly done on who comes to get treatment. And we know that only about 1 out of every 10 individuals with an eating disorder ever gets to treatment. So if you think about that, all our studies are basically done on only 10% of individuals with eating disorders. So it's possible that people with more financial security get more treatment. It's possible that females get more treatment. It doesn't mean that those are the only individuals that get eating disorders.
Right, really good point. There's been some media attention on, it's not just the adolescent or the teenage girl. Middle-aged women are more and more. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I think it's the same situation, actually. I think it's that we have more awareness, and I think the media coverage helps with awareness. But in my practice of 15 years of treating individuals with eating disorders, I've always seen women of all ages. I've seen men of all ages. So I think that the media attention is good because it brings awareness. It doesn't actually mean it's a new trend or new information. I think that it just means that we're opening our minds to the fact that women of any age, men of any age, can have an eating disorder. My experience has been that most women of any age in treatment for an eating disorder did not just wake up one day at 35 or 45 or 55 with an eating disorder. There probably are a few cases here and there, but for the most part it's been either a lifelong eating disorder that did not get treated or an eating disorder from adolescence or young adulthood that went into remission and then has recurred. So my hope is that we can continue to be open-minded as a professional community and be aware and continue to have treatment, as the treatment issues may be somewhat different for different ages, but we need to be open and not rule anyone out as having an eating disorder just because they don't fit our profile of what we imagine an eating disorder looks like.
Yeah, that's really helpful, Jessica. So again, Jessica Setnick, and please stay tuned for other videos with Jessica on Nutrition. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.